Welcome back. I'm a super busy guy. I don't really have a lot of time to work on this thing, and when I do, it's usually at night, which it is right now. It's about 10 o'clock. I did not want it to drag out this long. It was not my intention. I planned on just doing back-to-back videos, but life happens. And yeah, I'm not a full-time YouTuber, so I don't have all day, every single day to work on shit. I have a job. But to add on to this lengthy build process, a few things recently happened to the bike that have made it drag out even more. And it all started with this guy. So what this is the starter relay. Power runs in, goes through the fuse, runs to the starter. That's what starts the engine. This was just old, needed to be replaced, so I ended up getting a new one. And we have that right here. So you can see the new one, which got cooked. So I replaced the old one with this one, and what happened was the button on my lever up here stuck. So the starter was just constantly engaged as I was riding, and it just cooked. Like literally the fuse melted. I ended up fishing it back in there with the pliers, but it melted this down. It was smelling and smoking off the side of the bike. I felt it kind of burning my leg. I'm like, what the fuck is that? And then I realized it was this thing, so I had to hurry up and, you know, rip the wire off, and it was not good. So yeah, that was a struggle in itself. So I had to get a second brand new one to put on, because obviously you can't return this after you've fried it. And it happened again. The button stuck again. And the second time, it actually didn't fry the starter relay. It fried the starter. My starter was constantly engaged the whole time when I was going 60, and it fried. So I went to a stop, went to get gas, went to start it, nothing. I checked the new solenoid with the multimeter, everything was fine. I didn't understand, and it finally occurred to me that the starter was in fact out. Because I could bump start the bike, and then as I was just idling, you could hear like, and obviously this bike doesn't have a fan on it, so it sounded like a fan, but obviously it was not a fan. Be careful with your little starter button. I think I'm actually gonna rip this son of a bitch out and just put a custom little starter button somewhere, because I'm sick of that happening. But enough wasting your time. I'm gonna show you everything I got for the bike to put on, everything that came in the mail to finish it. So with that being said, we're gonna do one thing first, and that is a brewski. And of course, Coors Banquet, because my Coors Banquet's always there for me. You know, really, I say that in every single one of my videos, because I'm kind of just hoping that Coors will maybe sponsor me, because that would be awesome, because I love their beer, and because, you know, I always have it, and because I say it in every video. Let's go. So, to finish off this build, we have a new exhaust, a new starter, 2 rolls of exhaust wrap, these side skirt cover pieces that blend the seat to the rear fender, and last but not least, a 36-inch roll of carbon fiber wrap. Let's go. Here is the starter, right here. Okay, so it is a bitch to get all 4 of the carburetors into the housings here, the boots, at the same time. So I actually have a lot of experience doing this. I built the Doom Buggy back in high school, had a crotch rocket engine in it, and I tore it all apart. And it took me for fucking ever to figure this out. When you're trying to put this carburetor line back in, start on the one side, pop it in there nice and tight, and then tighten up your hose clamp on the boot on the one side as tight as you can get it, and then once this one side is in, you can come over here on the other side and you can wiggle the rest of them in while this all work for you. So just a quick tip if you're struggling trying to get these back on. starter, I never thought to check and see if everything worked before I put it all back together again. So on to the now. Hopefully we're good. Obviously there's no gas hooked up, so we'll just see if it cranks. Perfect. Thank you, God, because that would have fucking sucked. Okay, so it's time to paint the tank, and I was going to fix this dent here that's in the tank from the previous owner when the bike was crashed. But, you know what? I mean, it really bothers me with my OCD that it's not the same as the other side, and I was going to pop it out or put some filler in there and then sand it to make it look smooth. But I think I'm going to leave it, you know? Kind of fight my OCD a little bit and leave a little bit of the bike's character behind to tell the story of what it was before I tore it apart and rebuilt it. So I think that's kind of cool. Damn! Coors Banquet is always there for me. Wanna know what else is always there for me? This cozy ass sweatshirt from Minnesota Truck Mafia. And in case you're wondering where I got it, just go to MinnesotaTruckMafia.com and get you some sweet ass Minnesota boy and gal gear to work on stuff in your garage. Because here in Minnesota, it's starting to get cold as shit. Yes, that was an innocent merch plug because this isn't my merch, it's someone else's, but you should go buy it. Okay, next step, exhaust wrap. Never done exhaust wrap before, my very first time, don't know what to expect. I did do a bike build back in high school, and that pretty much was the bug bite for my love for motorcycles ever since then. But when I did that, I wasn't the one that did the exhaust wrap. But from what I've seen and read on forums, which every other person goes to if they don't know how to do something, the forums, everyone in there says to take the headers off if you can, sand the rust off, and then spray a high heat primer on there to protect it before you wrap it. Otherwise, if you wrap rusty headers, the moisture is going to get behind that wrap, and apparently it's going to rust out even faster. I don't know if it's true or not, but I'd rather be safe than sorry because primer is not that expensive and headers are. We're going to do that. But first, I'm going to attempt to get it off without snapping off any of the fucking manifold bolts because that happens a lot. And they're Allen keys, not bolts. Because it's a Japanese bike.
Fucking Japanese bikes.
Sorry. So far, they're coming right out. Hoping for the best. Because if one of these snapped off, that would fucking suck! Some of these are coming out so easily, I don't know how they didn't just vibrate out. Man! I'm gonna torque these bitches back down! That is a successful removal. Hell yeah! As you can see, these headers are pretty rusty. So I'm just gonna grab a wire wheel and a drill. It's about the only extent I'm going to go to, and just clean these up a tad, throw them on some plastic, spray some primer on, and then let them dry overnight, and I'll see you guys in the morning. That is much better. Yeah, got some shininess back to her. Brought it back to life. But it is 2:30 in the morning right now, and I'm gonna go to sleep, so I will paint these tomorrow. Good morning! So this morning I ran to Fleet Farm quick, and I got myself a can of very high temperature primer for headers. This stuff is supposed to withstand up to 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit, so we should be good. I'm gonna put just one heavy coat on. I don't care what it looks like. I'm gonna cover it up with the exhaust wrap anyway, but I really don't want to fuck around with this too much. I just want to do one coat, heavy coat, call it good. We'll let it dry for a few hours, and then I will wrap the headers. Okay, headers are dry, and I have a bucket of warm water. Both my exhaust wraps, I got the 2-inch. People say the 1-inch looks better because you can get the loops tighter, but then you have to buy more material, so I'm like, it's my first time anyway. I'm just gonna get the 2-inch and say fuck it. So that's what I got. Got these band clips, and everyone was talking about a special tool that you need for them, and I don't have that, so I'm assuming you loop it through, put it through, and then you bend it over and then crimp it. So I can just do that with the pliers. I don't need to buy some fucking stupid special tool, waste money. And yeah, we're gonna go. Starting here, I'm gonna wrap as tight as I can on each individual tube, and then once I get all of these done to the mounts, I am going to start here again, overwrapping my seams and then doing this part. So that's how we're gonna do it. She's wet. Alright, these look pretty freaking good. Not too bad for my first time ever. I think that turned out really good. Got it nice and tight around that joiner here. Freaking sick! Let's slap him back on the bike. Damn, son. Damn, son. Damn, son. Okay, time for some bad news. So here in Minnesota, I think winter is finally here to stay. She's been snowing and melting and snowing and melting, and it's been like 30 and then 50 and 30 and then 40. So it's kind of been teasing me, thinking that I would have enough time to finish this build and then get one more ride in for the season and do a cheesy little corny reveal with some music. But it is cold as shit outside, and I think winter's here to stay. The lakes already froze over. People are out there in their portables. So once she snows again, she's down for good, boys and gals. The season is over, and it really sucks. I was really hoping to get one more ride in, but I don't think I'm going to be able to make it happen. So yeah, I'm not going to be able to finish the build anyway, because there's some things that I ran into that I don't like. One of them being this filler piece. When it goes into the gap, you put this gap under the seat here like this to match the tail fairing. I should have waited until this came in the mail before I cut out of the stock side fairings. Make that little piece up here. because now that I have it together, I just don't like this, you know? I wasn't really even planning on getting this, but I feel like I kind of need it just because I don't really like the way it looked without it. So I need this filler piece, but I don't like this. So I'm just gonna take this fucking thing, throw it in the garbage, and we might try to make one out of steel. Get some thin sheet metal, bend it up, and then, you know, cut it, make it look nice and fancy, and blend with this line. Then I can make a mounting bracket so it's not flipping in the wind. But that's the plan, maybe. Another thing, steering damper. I want to have a piece CNC'd, a custom mounting bracket to mount this on, because it's not, this bike's not really set up for it, but I want it because I have had speed wobble before on this thing and it's fucking terrifying. So this thing is a definite necessity and I will make it work. Just not in this video. Probably the next one. With that being said, guys, I really appreciate you watching. If you watched all the way through, you're awesome. I know who did. My cousin Jake. He's a freaking champion. He watches all my videos all the way through. Thanks, buddy. Hope you liked the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If not, that's fine too. But regardless, have a good ass night. Remember, life is short, so go out and do all the things. I'll see you in the next one.